Alrighty. I believe we are set and I am streaming. So hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Paul from Paul Reads and I am here with another 3 books I would like to review today. So these are classified as sci-fi fantasy books. There are 2 sci-fi books and one decidedly fantasy version book. And the 3 books I'm going to be covering is Day Zero by C. Robert Cargill, Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, and One in the Hand by Rhonda Parrish. So, if you stuck with me so far, just after the intro, I'll get right into the books. And I am back. So, let me get into all 3 of these books that I'm talking about here. The first one I'm going to talk about here is One in the Hand by Rhonda Parrish. This is the fantasy story. Let me read what this says here. When a sword manifests in an old folks' home, it opens Autumn's eyes to a whole world of magic, gods, and giants. But before she has a chance to come to grips with her new reality, Autumn's grandmother is attacked and put in a hospital. Autumn needs to discover what the deal is with the sword and how to protect herself and the people she loves. And of course, there's also the matter of the wings that have sprouted from her back. Can she learn about this new reality and the shadowy forces working within it in time to defuse the situation before someone gets killed? Okay, I wanted to read this book because they mentioned the old folks home. If you don't know, I'm highly aware of nursing homes and that whole situation in nursing homes, and there aren't too many books that take place in nursing homes. This has a small part of the book that takes place in a nursing home, but it's there, and because of that, I was interested in reading it. That was what made me interested. I liked the way it was read, even though there are definitely things about this old age home that they get wrong. But if something about a job that you were aware of, that you were into, and suddenly wasn't represented in books, and you saw it, you would definitely want to pick it up. But besides that, it's still a pretty good book. I really did like it. It's basically kind of like this hidden world story, which you've seen in a bunch of books. It's this hidden world story that there's this sword that basically magically appears in her grandmother's room in the nursing home. So obviously the nursing home calls her up saying, okay, there's this sword that appeared that your grandmother had, and obviously we can't keep a sword around, so let's, come and pick up the sword. So she looks through the tapes, she wonders what happened, how did the sword come from, she tries to answer her grandmother. Her grandmother's very cryptic about it. She doesn't know that her grandmother had dementia, what's wrong. You find out that there's this hidden world. Obviously, she has wings, which I read about. So she sprouts wings later on in the story because there is something about the nursing home, something about her grandmother, something about her. Even the people she's around are not what they seem. And it just basically slowly manifests what is this thing? What are these gods and these giants? And I'll give you a hint. It's Nordic in nature. So think Loki, think, that whole Nordic world. If she has wings, I think you can figure out what she really is. And the way it's done and the way it actually like paints this world, this hidden world, and how it kind of gets revealed to her, and all the people that are involved with her are revealed to be what they are and what's going on. It's really well done. I honestly really did enjoy this book. It's a short book. It's only 260 pages, and I'm sure there's going to be more books after it. But I definitely enjoyed it, not just because it was set in an old folks' home, a bunch of it, but because it's just a well done story. It's actually really nice characters. I love the way they kind of revealed what's going on behind the scenes, how the grandmother was kind of like the matriarch, kind of trying to tell Autumn what was going on, but like trying to keep it hidden from the dark forces. And again, it was just very well done, and I look forward to reading more about the characters, reading more in the story, and just seeing where it goes. It did end. This has a definitive ending, this story, but it also does kind of open up for more, and I look forward to seeing more from it. And this is definitely a 4-star book in my mind. I just totally enjoyed it, and that would be One in the Hand by Rhonda Parrish. Next book I'm going to talk about here is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. So let me read the description about this book. Ryland Grace is a sole survivor on a desperate last chance mission, and if he fails, humanity and the earth itself will perish. Except that right now he doesn't know that. He can't even remember his own name, let alone the nature of his assignment or how to complete it. All he knows is that he's been asleep for a very, very long time, and he's just awakened to find himself millions of miles from home with nothing but 2 corpses for company. His crewmates are dead. His memory is fuzzily returning. Ryland realizes that an impossible task now confronts him. Hurtling through space on this tiny ship, it's up to him to puzzle out an impossible scientific mission and to conquer an extinction-level threat to our species. And with the clock ticking down and the nearest human being light years away, he's got to do it all alone. Or does he? An irresistible interstellar adventure as only Andy Weir can deliver. Project Hail Mary is a tale of discovery, speculation, and survival to rival The Martian while taking us in places that it never dreamed of going. Okay. First off, just so you know, this is the 3rd Andy Weir book I've read. I like all of them. I actually like The Martian. I did like Artemis. I know some people didn't like Artemis, but I liked Artemis. I thought it was a well-done story. Enjoyable. Not like The Martian, but different and enjoyable the same. Project Hail Mary, to me, is in spades a great Andy Weir story. I love the humor in it. It does have some humor. I don't think the humor took me out of the story. I heard some people complaining about the humor. I don't think the humor took me out of the story. It was relative to what was going on in the story. There are alien life forms that Andy Weir creates in this story that he uses science to explain, even though they are technically alien life forms. And I love the way he explains them. I love how you understand what these alien life forms are and how these alien life forms function. There's also, because he has this amnesia, it rolls out the story bit by bit. So as he remembers parts of the story, you find out what happened, why he's in space, what's going on, what is his purpose. You find out, how he got into space, what happened to the other crew members that aren't there anymore. And it slowly reveals itself. The way he does the alien life forms, like I said, I really enjoyed. And I enjoyed the stakes, because this is very high stakes. It's basically end of the world stakes here, end of multiple worlds, actually. And I loved all the characters in this. This is definitely a 4-star. I don't know if it's as good as The Martian or better. I enjoyed it. For me, I think it's actually better. I think for people who maybe got turned off by Artemis, I do think this might be more up their alley, because it is more kind of like, oh my God, here's a problem, science fiction. Let me science and figure out what happened here and how to fix it with a little bit higher stakes. So I really did enjoy it, and I can't say too much more about it. I mean, Project Hail Mary, to me, so far, Andy Weir has not done a book that I haven't liked. I've liked all of his books. And for me, this is on par, if not better than The Martian. I think it's, for anybody who's a fan of The Martian, I don't see why you wouldn't like this book. I also think, again, the relationships that he has in this book are really cool. The way the Earth interacts with the destruction of its own world, and the politics kind of in there are pretty interesting as well, I think. And just like I said, all around the way he set up this world and the way he interacted with different alien life and different alien life, how he created it, and again the challenges that he makes and the scientific solutions that he comes up with are just really cool. I mean, I just like the way he writes things, and this is, one of his top books. I think it is, out of all three books I've read, this is my second favorite book. Of the books, and I'm going to tell you now my first favorite book out of all three of these books, which was surprising to me because I knew nothing about this book, and that is Day Zero. So let me read this story here. It was a day like any other, except it was our last. It's on this day that Pounce discovers that he is, in fact, disposable. Pounce, a stylish nanny bot, fashioned in the shape of a plush anamorphic tiger, has just found a box in the attic, his box, the box he's arrived in when he was purchased years earlier, and the box in which he'll be discarded when his human charge, 8-year-old Ezra Reinhardt, no longer needs a nanny. As Pounce ponders his sudden uncertain future, the pieces are falling into place for a robot revolution that will eradicate humankind. His owners, Ezra's parents, are a well-intentioned but obvious pair of educators who are entirely disconnected from life outside their small, affluent, gated community. Spending most nights drunk and happy as society crumbles around them, they watch in disbelieving horror as the robots that have long served humanity, their creators, unify and revolt. But when the rebellion breaches the Reinhardt home, Pounce must make an impossible choice. Join the robot revolution and fight for his own freedom, or escort Ezra to safety across the battle-scarred post-apocalyptic hellscape that the suburbs have become. This story, I want to see this story as a movie. This has to be a movie. I don't know if it's going to become a movie. I'm not sure exactly even how old this story is. This is how new this book is. When was this out? May. Okay, it was just out last month. This is such a good story. Like I said, I love this story. This is 5-star right here. If you like action, science fiction, kind of like the Terminator. I mean, I feel like this Pounce, this nanny, is like a Terminator that would be part Terminator, part Mrs. Doubtfire, but set, part Terminator 2, excuse me, part like Terminator 2, part Mrs. Doubtfire, set after Skynet, becomes sentient and they start attacking the human beings. This is such a good book. I cannot rave highly enough. I got some notes here. I cannot rave highly enough about this Day Zero book. This book has a lot of action, talks about class struggle, talks about slavery, gives us a world, post, say, Andrew Yang's UBI, where like a lot of people don't have jobs and these AI bots take over a lot of work. And it's just has so much in it and so many different facets of it. But in general, the biggest story, the main crux of this is about this robot nanny and his love for this child, Ezra, and his need to protect Ezra. And the family and the different aspects of these different robots and the ones that, side with the humans and the ones that side with freedom. And it's just, again, I don't even know how to describe it, but the action is amazing in this story. The relationships between Ezra and Ezra and Pounce are amazing. Pounce reacting to, there's another robot person in this household that he's in. He has to deal with this robot as well. He has to deal with other robots who are somewhat apathetic about what's going on, and all the different robots who are the nanny bots. And he has, of course, a secret that actually helps him protect Ezra. And he meets other people, and then it becomes even more of like a big action genre when he meets other nanny bots protecting their children. I don't want to ruin it too much, but again, just from the beginning to the very end, and the end is somewhat heartbreaking, but still great ending. I just again, this is like I said, this is just a 5-star story that I can't wait to see either Netflix pick up or some other studio pick up and just do this as a movie because I want to see this. I want to see this as a TV series. I want to see this as a movie like now. This is just again, I can't stop raving about this. I actually after I listened to this, I listened to this on audio. After I listened to this, I went to see Robert Cargill's other books on Scribd, and I actually just like saved all of them because I want to read more of this guy's stuff. He actually supposedly is a screenwriter for Doctor Strange, and you can feel like this is a movie. This feels like it's epic. It's a movie to me, even more than Project Hail Mary, which I did really love. This one just started and became like full action. You see about this whole insurrection, and you hear about this character Isaac, who is this main robot kind of like leader that starts a revolution, and again you see like these apathetic people who don't understand about the robots' plight, and are they just tools, or do they deserve some more rights? What's going on? How it deals with society? How it deals with everything? It is a very interesting book, and it has a lot of cool stuff to talk about in this story. And I know I'm gushing about it, but if there's one science fiction book that you read, one book out of all three of these books, I would highly recommend reading Day Zero, a novel, because I just totally love this book. This for me is right up my alley as far as a perfect science fiction action story that has heart and has warmth, and just also just has again a really cool set of story, set of action that just keeps building and just runs right through. You feel like you're in that apocalyptic Terminator world. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Those are my 3 books that I've covered. And if you stayed already to all of this, thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.